Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gamersledge. I am one of your hosts, Mark, and joining me this week is, of course, from the Great White North, Matt. Wait, you're muted.
Howdy.
Second take is the best take.
Technology.
That's right. Oh my! It has been a week. We have some news. There's not a lot, but some. And we'll get to that in a minute. We'll start, as we always do, by going around the room and talking about what we've been doing and playing. I'm going to go first, which is not... Yeah, I know, it's really weird. But I didn't get to write any of this down, and my brain can't hold it. So I've got to, get it out before I forget it all. All right, so played. I played Dark Souls 2, because I picked that up for $10 on the sale, because it was... That's a price I can't pass up. And I love me some Dark Souls, which is still on sale, I think, for $10. Just FYI, Matt. I know you've been itching to start the series. It's a single-player game. You don't have to associate with anyone. You can if you want to, but you don't have to.
True. Those are all accurate statements.
And it makes you hate your life until you figure it out. So, I mean...
I don't really need help in that area.
Okay. Well, there's that. I played that, and then I played, of course, Path of Exile. I've been playing... I swear to God, I'm going insane. I'm hearing voices.
You can't go somewhere you already are.
Yeah, I know. I've been playing Path of Exile, of course. I tried to play Dauntless on Monday's night stream. If you've not watched that, it is epic. I don't know how else to explain it. They start you with two unskippable cutscenes. The first one's not bad. It's 30 seconds. But then you have this 5-minute load. I'm not joking about that either. It's really long. And then you go into this 3.5, 4-minute long cutscene that, again, you can't skip. And when I finally got control of my character, I couldn't move. Literally, I couldn't go anywhere, do anything. I couldn't move. And I'm all oh, okay, maybe this is just, my luck in this load was screwy or something. So I take the whole system down. I redo everything. Do all of this over again for a second time. Still can't move when I get in after doing all this waiting again through these cutscenes and the load times that I can't skip. I go back for a third attempt. Still can't move. So that was Dauntless. I'm yeah. See you later, Dauntless. And I played Dark Souls 2. Actually, it was last night.
I was going to say, that must have been Tuesday, because Monday we did something different.
Yeah, Monday we did something different. What did we do on Monday? I slept.
City of
Oh, right, City of Heroes. Yes, City of Heroes is alive and kicking again, and I have characters. Now so does Matt, which it's an MMO, so I'm surprised his brain hasn't exploded. I
Oh, it did.
appreciate you. I appreciate you like slogging through that. I would like to play more with you at some point. And then I think. Oh, and then of course Harry Potter's Wizards Unite came out on mobile, and I am level 15 or 16 in that now. It's amazing because it doesn't matter if I take the bus or I take the trolley, I can get all the dailies done just on my way into the office except one. And the only one that I can't get done is that I have to go to like one of the towers that's in the sky and do the fight against you'll fight a werewolf or something. And I actually have one of those towers right by my office, so I can sit at my office at my lunch break and just like quick get that one out of the way, and then I'm done. I'm done with the dailies, so every day I'm done by like 9 a.m. with the dailies. It's pretty sweet. And there's of course billions of inns and stuff. The game is good. I really like it. I think it's more interesting than Harry Potter. And if you're not familiar with this, or more interesting than Pokemon Go, if you're not familiar with the concept of the game, basically you are a wizard in Harry Potter, and all wizards have been drafted by the whatever division that Harry Potter actually works for, adult Harry Potter, and Hermione Granger. It's like the secrets division or something like that. Anyway, somebody casts a spell, and it's taking all this stuff from throughout time and putting it into the Muggles world. And you have to go and they call them foundables, and there are things protecting them or like attacking them called confoundables. And so you have to defeat the confoundables to get the foundables to go back in time where they belong.
This is sounding like a Kingdom Hearts spinoff.
Yeah, kind of. It is actually a little bit confusing. But the gist of it is that you have you travel around, and then what do they call them? I don't remember what they call the actual encounters. They're like I want to say it starts with a T. It's like theme or something like that. But anyways, traces. So traces pop up on your overworld map. You tap on it, and it's divided into the houses. So some of it's for, well, not the houses. It's divided into the magical world spectrum. So some of it's going to be for the Ministry of Magic. Some of it's going to be for occult and supernatural. Some of it's going to be for oddities of the wizarding world. Some of it's going to be for creatures of the wizarding world, and stuff like that. And so basically the traces, once you go into it, you have to use your finger to cast a spell. And they give you the tracing of the spell. So sometimes it's the letter E, that you have to do, or it's the letter M, or it's, a big swashy curve. Anyways, it doesn't matter. There's a bunch of different spells, is my point. And what, again, this does have very Pokemon Go-esque kind of feel to it. There's like no documentation, really, about how to do this well, and you'll do the tracings as exact as you can. It turns out it's not just how well you do it. In fact, it's less about how perfect you make it and how fast you do it. That's the measuring. So you kind of got to find that sweet spot between accurate and fast, and that actually it gives you a better chance to destroy the confoundable and get the foundable. And so basically, some of them you only have to do one thing, and some of them are split into fragments where, like, if you want to get this giant's helmet, you have to encounter a trace for it 4 times and defeat it 4 times in order to actually get it. And then you place them like stickers into the scene that you're in. And I actually finished one of the scenes, and I was like, okay, great, so does that mean I'm not going to get experience? You can actually prestige the scene, which means that you release all the foundables again, and now all of them have fragments So even if they were one shots before, now you have to get 4 of them. And the ones that were like you had to get 10 of them, now you got to get 20 of them. And so and you get more XP for doing those individual traces now also. So that's fun. There's a story that develops as you go, and you're trying to find out who cast this spell and why. And what I don't like about it is that it is much more in your face about spending money than Pokemon Go was. And there's some problems with the UI. They're minor, but they're problems like they have these things called portmanteaus, which are basically rooftops, and they're equivalent to the eggs in Pokemon Go, right? You find these portmanteaus on the map, you tap them, and it'll be like walk 2 kilometers, or walk 5 kilometers, or walk 10 kilometers. And you have to have keys. You have one golden key that you can use for anything once a day. And then you get keys as you level up and open stuff. And I've never run out of keys, so that's the good part. I tend to only use my golden keys on 2 kilometer ones so that I can keep it moving on to the next one. And then I use my silver keys for the bigger ones. And the interesting thing is once you have done your walk for that portmanteau, it actually does an AR game where you step through a portal and you're in one of the Harry Potter environments, I guess is the best thing to say. And you, even without having the AR on, you still have to move your camera around in 3D, and you have to find things and tap on them to get them. And you do 5 of them, and it's like XP in a combination of rare ingredients, and then you'll usually get a rare fragment from doing the portmanteaus. And you can't get those fragments any other ways than doing the portmanteaus. So that's kind of interesting. But the game has an energy system. So every time you do a trace or you do something, now you're making that scrunched up face. It was actually worse at launch. They've actually given everybody, like they've raised the limit on energy, and they've given everybody like a big bonus of it at the beginning. So it's helpful, but since I live in a energy rich area, then and even a seed rich, so there's inns where you replenish your energy, and then there are greenhouses where you pick one of 3 potted plants, and it gives you a random set of ingredients for brewing potions. And brewing potions is another big part of the game. Like you have to brew potions. Mainly because it's one of the requirements for the dailies. But you actually do use them quite a bit. I've not yet found anybody to actually play with. My wife's out of town. She's got the game she's playing there. She's like level 6 or 7, I think. She's in Chicago right now. But yeah, so I haven't attacked any of these like the big towers with a party, because you can, which is kind of interesting. And there are 3 classes. There's the DPS, which are called Orons. There's the tanks, which are called Magizoologists, I believe. They're basically the Hagrids, Magizoologists. Right. They're the tank class. And then you have the class that I picked, which is Professor, which is kind of like a DPS support, would be the best way to say it. You have both DPS and support spells, so I can I can heal people, which is great, except that I haven't found anybody to play with yet. Yeah, so that's the downside, because you can't heal yourself. Mr. J Nice, Auroras. Yes, Auroras. I think it's Auroras, actually, not Auroras.
Auroras?
Yeah, they're not Auroras. No, you're right. They're Auroras. Not Aurora. Wait, aren't they Auroras? I think they're... I don't know. It's dumb. Anyways, it's a stupid thing. I'm not going to look it up.
All of our stuff is named weirdly. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. And I have to say, I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm still playing it every day. I usually play it on the way to work, and I usually play it on the way home. on my commute, and I usually have been leveling up once a direction, but now I'm down to once there and back because it's starting to slow down. But yeah, I have spent money on it. I bought $20 worth of. They had a Slytherin. I'm a Slytherin, by the way. That's the house I joined. So I'm a bad guy. Yay. I'm a Slytherin. They had a Slytherin pack, which gave you the Slytherin They have a lot of AR stuff, so I've got the Slytherin robe thing, and then it gave me a bunch of coins and stuff, and I used that to upgrade the capacities on my 3 different things that I have to manage, which is water and seeds, energy, and crafting materials. So that's where it can, they have, yeah. So anyway, that's enough about it. I like it so far. I'm interested to see, that the community is being very vocal about it, and the devs are on top of responding. Every time somebody is saying something, they're like, okay, we're hearing what you guys are saying, and they have had already made changes to the game, so that's kind of nice. I think it's not making as much money as Pokemon Go did, but that's okay. It seems like it's got a pretty good fan base. Yeah, water, seed, crafting materials, and energy. Yeah. No, there's only 3. Water and seeds, crafting materials, and energy. No, there's not a 4th one to buy in the store. You can't upgrade the. You can't upgrade. You can buy potions, but you can't upgrade. I don't think you can upgrade any of the carrying capacity or anything. Now I'm having to open the app and look. Because last I saw, the only 3. Because it's 420 gold, and you get gold super slow in this game too. It's 420 gold, I think, to upgrade all 3 of them. Store. Vault. Yep, there's only 3. It's energy. Oh, potion capacity. No, it's only so. Why? Oh, you're right. There's 4, but you actually don't get the water and seed capacity when you buy the Vault extensions pack. Well, that's dumb. No wonder I keep running out of water speeds. Anyways, yeah. So that's Harry Potter. I'm more excited about City of Heroes. Okay, but we need to get to what I watched because that's the stuff that's leaving my brain. Okay, so I have watched nothing but anime because Twitch Prime had a deal where you could get 30 days of Crunchyroll for free just by being a Amazon Prime member. So I signed up for that, and then I went to an anime meetup because anime is not really my thing, but I enjoy it when I watch it, and I enjoy reading mangas. So I went to this anime meetup, and all these people gave me 50 billion recommendations of what to watch, and so I've been just kind of pouring through them. So the first one is called Bungo Stray Dogs, which is basically a story about a detective agency where all the people who work there have superpowers. But then there's also a mafia where all the people in the mafia have superpowers, and it's clash against the 2 of them. And then the main character is a kid, an orphan who is starving to death on the streets, who gets caught up in the middle of both of basically in the middle of their war. And it's been really good so far. The second one that I've been watching a lot is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Which sounds like it could be really Leisure Suit Larry kind of thing, but it's not. It's fairly harmless. The character is the main character is absolutely clueless that all these women are drooling over him. It's kind of funny actually.
Basic
you're on mute again.
No, I'm not.
No?
Can you hear me?
I totally can't hear you.
Interesting.
Why can't I hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Hold on.
How about now?
No, hold on. I can hear you through the TV. Rebooting my headsets.
Rebooting! Oh gosh.
Whoa,
No,
what's making all the...
Now you done it. What?
Hold on.
And now a song.
I have no idea what's going on, where this sound is coming from.
You have a counter counting something, and
Yeah, it's the bottom of my Twitch page. Oh, I know what it is.
I guess you can hear me again now. Huh?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I also hear music and wind, and I'm like, where is that coming from? Somehow when I rebooted my headsets, it turned on... Can I hear you now?
Can you hear me now?
What the heck? I just went and, like, I didn't even turn off. My capture card was coming through.
Oh.
That was weird. I didn't even turn it off. I just moused over it and it stopped. Alright then. Huzzah. Technology!
Yay!
So yeah, that's the second one I've been watching, and then I'm just starting the Shield Hero, and I want to also start Food Wars. No, that's not it. Food Dungeon?
Fruit basket?
No, not Fruits Basket. No.
Not
And
the
then
mini-
no, and I also want to start. I can never remember the name of it. It's like the Black Clover God. No, it's not Black Clover.
Black Clover is the name of
Yeah,
one.
I know. That's not it. It's Hold on, I'm having a look. It's the ancient sage god of... Like, I know it every time I see the cover of it. Oh, the ancient Magistrate. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's the other one that I want to start, but I'm actually probably going to save that one till Lexi's here. Okay, I think that's everything I've watched. I went and saw Toy Story 4. It was amazing, and I did not think I needed they needed a Toy Story 4, but this truly is the last one, and it does wrap up the entire series in a way that I didn't think was possible, and I thought it was very good. And Keanu Reeves makes the film.
It's gotta make it while it's hot, I guess.
Well, it made it for me. I thought it was great. I was not the only person sitting in the theater as a single person watching it, so I didn't feel so bad. There were actually a lot of people there, on dates and stuff. So it was not bad. It's not bad. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very well done and a good story to boot. Cool. As opposed to a snake in my boot.
They keep surprising. I didn't think we needed a Toy Story 2, and that was good. And then didn't think we needed a Toy Story 3, and that was pretty epic. So,
well, I thought
they keep
Toy Story
going.
3 really kind of just finished it. It's
Yeah.
great, here you go, and the rest is just implied, and everybody lives happily ever after. And no, this pretty much picks up from the end of Toy Story 3 and creates a good reason for character growth amongst certain toys. So yeah.
All right. We'll have to see that. Probably won't be till it comes out on...
And the neurotic spork is my favorite. The neurotic existential spork is probably one of the greatest characters ever created. It's pretty hilarious. And Key and Peele were friggin' hilarious. There are after credit scenes, or I would say mid credit scenes. You do need to stay for those, 100%, because every person, anytime Key and Peele open their mouths, the entire audience was just busting a gut laughing. So it was really good. And there were a lot of people that teared up at the end. I was not one of them. I could see why, especially from a strong nostalgia.
3 a lot too. So.
Yeah. So it was good. It was good.
Cool.
Well, what about you? I'm sure yours would be like way shorter than mine. I think probably for one.
Well, let's see. Playing wise, we'll leave that one for last because I think you kind of deferred it until we got there, so I'll leave that for last. So I'll do games last. First, where I don't know. Neither of the boys had seen NGE, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and that is on Netflix now. And we're watching the subs, so it doesn't matter that the dub voices are different. So, although I guess the subtitles have been changed too, but I don't remember enough. It's been since 1999 that I've seen it. So,
enjoying it?
I mean, they kind of know about it. I mean, it's kind of part of that. Just it's kind of like most people know something about Star Wars, even if they've never seen it. They know stuff about it, even though they've never seen it. We're still early. We haven't gotten to the real effed up stuff yet. So, they're enjoying it so far, I think. So we're watching it because it's just kind of one of those moments. I do miss all the different iterations of Fly Me to the Moon at the end credits. But, other than that, the changes that I've heard people complaining about, I don't remember it well enough for any of those relatively small changes. They may be significant to some people, and I get that, but they are relatively small changes to affect anything so far. Pretty sure all they've really effed up stuff is still intact. So someday I need to see the new version, the movie versions of this, and see what they did with that. But I haven't seen any of that. Halfway through season 3 of Jessica Jones. I haven't read up on what people were not happy about with it yet, and I don't really want to know. I want to wait till I finish it and see what it was that people were not happy with. But I'm enjoying it so far. It's no season 1, but it's
season 2 wasn't season 1.
Well, season 2 wasn't season 1, but I still really like season 2.
I like season 2.
Season 3 again. It's kind of the Lex Lutherism, right? The main big bad so far is a non-powered person who's using his natural skills to confound and befuddle the supers. I'm liking it so far. I like the casting of the new characters. There's some of the dialogue that's kind of ridiculous, but it kind of plays into the themes of what's going on, so it doesn't bother me. I mean, if anybody else was saying those lines, it probably wouldn't play off. But the person that's saying those lines, it makes sense.
So let me ask you this. This is my one, and it's not a spoiler question, so I think I should be all right. Less Trish or more Trish, season 3?
More.
That might be, for me, I kind of was... Is it working for you? I guess is the best question.
It's working.
Okay.
I say more. I might technically be wrong on that if you counted the screen minutes. But does it feel like more Trish or less Trish? It feels like more relevant Trish.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Also, midway through Good Omens, didn't finish that yet. Again, there's the whole petition thing with that, which is just ridiculous.
we didn't put it in news, but my wife even called me. She's like, "Do you know that people are writing to Netflix saying that they should cancel Good Omens?" And I'm like, "But it's on Amazon." And she's like, "I know. That's why it's so dumb."
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't understand. I don't understand people.
Are you liking it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I've never read the book. I don't think I've ever actually read anything that Gaiman has written.
What?
Yeah, I don't think I have. I've never read Sandman. I haven't read any of his novels. So yeah, I don't think I've ever read anything he's written.
How?
I don't know. Things happen.
He's like your spirit animal. You just don't know it.
That is entirely possible. Sandman's one of those things I've meant to read for years and it's just never happened.
American Gods, too. Did you watch American Gods at least?
No, because I don't have whatever that came out on.
Mm-hmm.
Stars, isn't it? Isn't that Stars?
I'm Sad Panda over here.
Well, it happens. I have not been able to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet, which is really kind of ticking me off.
I haven't seen it for past the first episode.
Yeah, same. So that's really frustrating me. Regular TV has been pretty slow, so I don't think other than that, I don't think I'm behind on too much. Mitchell's been watching Bleach, so I just kind of randomly picked up bits and pieces of that, but that's not really my kettle of fish. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it on the watching front. I feel like we watched a movie recently, but I can't remember what it was. I guess it wasn't important.
Games.
So then, gaming-wise, most of my time has been spent this last week trying to finish up Breath of the Wild. And by finish up, I mean just get through the 4 beasts and the castle. Pick up whatever shrines I need to along the way to accomplish those goals.
So how are you liking it?
I'm not.
I don't.
I'm not.
What do you think you aren't liking?
Well, I'll get into what I feel is I'll go from more to less legitimate complaints in descending order.
Sure.
I don't like the story. What little of it there is.
Okay.
I don't like the weapon system.
You don't like the degrading
the
of
breaking,
the weapons.
you can't keep them, you can't fix them, you can't repair them, with limited exceptions. I get it. The legendary or champion weapons or whatever you can repair, and then there's the situation with the Master Sword, which I finally have now. But I don't like the breaking weapon. I don't like that everything in its monkey seems to drop two-handed weapons, and I despise, hate, and cannot stand two-handed weapons in this game, except for spears, which they barely give you. So spears are kind of OP, except for the fact that they all have like an attack power of 9. So that's how they balance that out, I guess. But yeah, it's just been a dearth of one-handed weapons, and I don't know if it's just bad luck on my part or what it is. But now that I have the Master Sword, at least some of that is alleviated.
Are you using amiibos or no?
No. Because per my agreement with Dave, if I was going to give him that much crap about cheating and using 3 different copies of amiibos to get all of the gear and have, amazing gear throughout the entire game, then I would not use amiibos. Even though I want to have Epona, I will not cheat and get Epona. So, fine. I now have a 4 per horse, and I almost never use it because I'm always in the mountains for some reason.
So wait, you can't get Epona.
No, you can't without the amiibo.
Except the amiibo, so how is that cheating?
The agreement was that I could not use amiibos, so
okay.
I'm not using amiibos.
Wait, why do you even care about an agreement with Dave? I'm just asking. Why don't you just get the amiibo for Epona and use Epona? You're like curtailing your own happiness for Dave. I love Dave, but there's no reason to do that.
Well, partially because I keep killing horses and I don't want to kill Epona.
But the point is that you can just resummon Epona by using the amiibo tomorrow.
Oh, can you? Oh, okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I have horse 1 through 5, and I've killed 1, 3, and 5. I only have horse 2 and 4 left. Horse 4 is my best horse that I've gotten, though. So far, I'm at least haven't killed that one yet.
Horse 4, the best is always horse 4, of course.
Of course. But I find myself barely ever using the horses because I'm always in some terrain where I end up abandoning them somewhere, and then it's forever and a year until I get back to a stable, and then I summon them and I ride them somewhere, and then I get off to climb a mountain, and then I've left them again somewhere. So it hasn't been that big of a deal, I don't think. I have 3 divine beasts down, the magic sword, and I've got 3 photos left to find. So those are kind of the things that I'm measuring for my playthrough, because I'm not going to find all the shrines. I'm not going to do all that stuff, all the Kurok poops and all that. So, then the I guess the other main issue I have, and this is, I blame PlayStation. This is actually PlayStation's fault, because they swapped Circle and X cross. And then Nintendo decided to not follow any of the conventions of any modern third-person action game with their button layout. So as long as I have like at least a 16th of a second to think about things, I'm okay. But the minute I have to start responding as I'm surrounded by characters, I will inevitably end up on the ground flopping like a fish because I hit some button that did something that I didn't mean to do. And somehow I'm on the ground like Homer Simpson spinning around in circles trying to get a donut. The controls are just the most unintuitive, wrong thing. Who the heck maps triangle as jump? I can't even remember what button is.
Can you not?
There are pre-built you can't customize.
Oh, okay.
So at least not that I found you can't customize. I don't like the triggers on the controller. I don't like that the triggers are basically just bumpers but shaped like a trigger. That annoys me for some reason.
You're talking about the Pro controller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried playing it as a tablet with the little wee things on the side. Oh my hands cannot wrap themselves in that configuration. That just doesn't work. So it's just, some of it's just the form factor of the Wii. Some of it's just Nintendo being Nintendo and not following any... Oh, Switch, sorry. And then... dang, I'm turning into an old man and calling everything a Nintendo now. Some of it's just that Nintendo, for whatever reason, wanted their own layout, which is completely different than any other third-person action layout of the buttons, and it just confuddles my old brain that goes back to muscle memory of what most third-person action games are, and then it's not. So those are my main hang-ups. I mean, it looks fine. I mean, I'm not a graphics snob, I don't think. So I like the look of it's fine. The Kurok Forest, oh my gosh, that system cannot handle that. It goes to like 2 frames a second when you're in that stupid forest. That was disappointing. Because I mean, that's like a hallmark moment there, and you're at like, oh man, that's just horrible. So that's one of those times where I wish Nintendo would just make games for systems that can actually handle things. So that kind of stole from that moment of getting there and finding that place. So that was a bit. I'm a little worried about Ganon's castle now, or the Hyrule Castle, because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of effects similar to what's there, and I'm a little worried about it.
I didn't have too much problem throughout the game. Occasional things like you described, but I don't think...
Yeah, every once in a while you spin the camera too fast, you'll get some stutter or something, but the only time it's been really noticeably bad has been in the Kurok Forest so far.
Right.
And then just, I don't know, it's not connecting with me, right? I'm not finding a linchpin to it. I mean, the paraglider's fun, it's fine. I hate the stamina meter to a degree, because... I don't like the fact that the same resource is used for life and stamina, because you need life for one very specific fact, and you need stamina for like everything else in the game. And so the fact that you're having the same resource to try to decide which one of these 2 things you're going to take, to me, I would have rather it had been 2 resources and maybe both of them be a little more common, and so that way you could still choose which one you're pursuing and go and build that way if you want to build that way. But I just feel like I had to pour stuff into stamina, and now, I had to wait to do the one thing that you need a certain number of hearts for, because I had buffed stamina first, and that just felt annoying, even though it's an homage to the original game, and I get that, but still was kind of annoying. And that camel divine beast, that was just unnecessarily egregious. That was just, come on, really? That was not fun. That was just tedious. So yeah, I mean, I'd say, it's like a 7, right? It's fine. It functionally works, but it's not the 9, 9, 9, 5, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 that it got, in my opinion.
So I have a question. Did you ever play Shadow of the Colossus?
Yes.
Do you like Shadow of the Colossus?
I very much enjoy Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Shorter, more focused.
Yeah.
Separate resources for life and stamina.
Yeah.
And the world is much smaller, so you don't wander through miles and miles and miles of nothing, randomly hoping to come across a thing. It's more focused. I feel like it's the world's tighter.
You don't have to do that in the game. You can fast travel between the towers.
Once you have them.
Sure.
I mean, I still don't have all the regions unlocked on the map yet. I still have one left now, I think. I got all of them except one this weekend. So, the temples and the shrines, excuse me. And that's another thing that I just miss dungeons. I like dungeons. I don't like shrines, temples, shrine, whatever the heck they're called. I like dungeons. And the puzzly beasts, those are not dungeons. Those are just oversized physics puzzles.
Or maybe some of them dragons. Because then you can like Dungeons and Dragons.
That is interesting though. There have been very, very, very few Legend of Zelda games with any dragon lore in them. That's been more in the manga and stuff. Yeah. And to have that included in this game was kind of surprising. So that was a pleasant surprise. So they're just annoying. But yeah, so okay, Legend of Zelda, got through that. We've been playing a little bit of Rock Band. We're in a break between seasons now. We got up to Diamond again. We couldn't get into Bloodstone. It's too hard. And though you just did a 1 weeker in between one this week to get some old track skins if you missed them, which we already had, so it didn't really matter, but we played anyway. Then there was, what was it? There was dadgummit, my brain just stopped working. Mitchell and Keegan have been playing Kingdom Hearts 3, but I've been desperately trying to avoid knowing anything about what's going on.
Yeah.
And then, then what we played Monday night, City of Heroes, which I have never played before. And, I mean, it was fun, other than apparently you can only make a spider-themed character if they're a bad guy, which kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, we'll have to double-check that, because I don't think that is the case.
Well, I've made 3 so far, and I can find no way to not start out as a bad guy.
Well, we'll see, but I'm pretty sure you can make the choice. We'll just have to look at it.
Yeah.
It could be, but... Yeah,
the character I ended up with actually just kind of happened upon the suit, but it's basically the Earth X Venom Carnage symbiote blend suit that May Parker wore in that miniseries. But it's not May, like Aunt May, Peter and Mary Jane's daughter from the MC2 timeline.
Hashtag Spider-Man deep cuts. Hashtag.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, we're way early game, so, but, I do want to play it again sometime, not on chat, so that I can turn the music and the sound back up so that I can get a better feel for what the music and the sound is in there, because I didn't really get a very good feel for that. Graphically, I mean, I'm able on my crappy little laptop here to run it 1080 full screen, and it ran fine. It looks like an old MMO, but
it's pre-World of Warcraft, so
right. So it looks old, but again, not so old that it's painful.
I'm running like with ultimate graphics settings on everything, and it looks damn good on my computer for being as old as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been ahead of its time graphically.
It was.
I mean, if you had told me this was DCU Online version 1, I would have believed you because it doesn't look that much worse than DCU WoW does.
Yeah, then the funny part is like there's way less grinding in this game than there is DCUO.
Which seems funny because you'd think an older game would be grindier than a newer one.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, and there's so much story in this game. So much story.
I kept pulling everybody down because everybody else has played the game already and they know everything. I'm sitting here reading every line.
No, and I'm all right with that. Like just tell me that's what you're doing, and I will slow down and wait for you because I like to read that stuff too. But 9 times out of 10, I'm in a group with a bunch of people who's like, "Come on, let's go do the thing," and then yeah. So
another reason I don't like online games.
Well, I'll read with you.
No, I'm not saying not our specific scenario.
Well, and now but now that I know you want to do that, we'll read this stuff on the when we're streaming. So that's fine. Like we'll read it out loud.
Okay.
We can do the voices and stuff. Yeah. So that's totally fine by me.
And the secret agent dude we were getting the missions from's name was Matt or Matthew or something, so that was cool.
Yes. There is actually a wrestling news guy whose name is Matt Coon, but it's Koon.
Huh.
And so every time I read it, I do a double take because I'm like, Matt got into wrestling? Yeah.
No. Mitchell, when he took Japanese, they put the Coon suffix on his name, so he was Mitchell Coon. It's like
Mitchell Coon.
Yeah.
Which the funny part is that he would have an easy time in Japan because his last name is actually a known entity, unlike Bodaniku. Bodaniku. Yeah, Bodaniku. Yeah. Do that. Anyways.
Well, my phone doesn't understand your name either.
Yeah. My phone doesn't understand my name either. No, and the nice part is it's completely free. It does all the stuff that you used to have to pay for with real world money is just available for free in the game now. For people who played since day one, like me, they had this thing called the VIP program, and you got points, and over time you could spend those points to redeem it for prestige powers and all kinds of different armor pieces and stuff, and that's all in there straight from the get-go. So creating a character from scratch and the funny part is they used to, when the game was live and you had to pay for the subscription to it, you could make a visually identical character, but you could not name it Wolverine as an example. Right. You'd have to come up, you'd have to be careful, like you'd have to make Canuck claws or some ripoff. And so mine, because I love Shazam, mine was the Big Red Cheese, and he's imbued with the power of Wizard, who loves pork. So his battle cry is Shaz Ham. Because Shazam. And so yeah. And besides, the bolt on his chest doesn't look exactly right. Neither does the cape, but it's as close as you can get.
Close enough that you get the idea.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's it.
So is it what you remember? I mean, is it the same? I mean, is it literally the same game? Is it just everything?
Literally the same game. And some good Samaritan out there is paying the hosting fees for it, so God bless them. They're doing the world a service.
Does NCSoft currently own the rights to that? Is that who owns it?
So they do, sort of. So the gist of it is that NCSoft owns the rights to it. They shuttered the game, and one of the engineers basically had a copy of everything, the server, all the characters, everything, and kept it running since the end of the game, since like 2 months after the end of the game. And it was a super secret, had to know the people to get an invite kind of thing, and they just kept playing for 8 years, 9 years, and someone got an invite and was like, holy effing MFers, you've been keeping this going, and there's so many people that want to, that like this was their favorite game. It's one of my favorite games. Like, I think I must have logged probably close to 1,000 hours on it, if not more.
Again, time loop.
Yeah, I know, but yes. So I know, just not a lot of sleep. I keep trying to explain this to you. That stuff adds up.
I don't get very much either, and I don't get anywhere near as the amount of hours into things that you do.
That stuff just adds up. But yeah, it's so far ahead of its time, because you look at other MMOs that tried to do something similar, like Champions, and you see where they took things directly from this. Now, I'm not going to lie, like, going back to it was a bit jarring because I am used to the UI upgrades and updates that we've had over the years. I am a pure keyboard player. I do not click the mouse at any point in time. I have to friggin' click the mouse on things in this game, and it drives me up the wall. And I forgot that's the case.
There's a lot of quality of life stuff that, I mean, I don't know if the whole point of opening this up to the world is to try to get a resurgence of an official version or what it is, but
nope.
You'd have to imagine, as the license holder, if they see the traffic that this is getting is positive, you could see them maybe wanting to try to see if they could do a 2 or something.
Well, I mean, that would be great.
There's a lot of quality of life stuff there that is just flat out missing.
Yeah, and technically it'd be a 26. Because basically every time they did a content launch, it was basically the next game. It was still on the same engine, but even that got overhauled as time went on. And so I think they killed it on issue 25. It's either 25 or 26, I can't remember. And so, but that's the amazing part is that's what it's running. And my friend Ken last night on the stream, he was asking me, so who does the updates? I'm like, no, there's no updates, man. It's just there. It's there, and it will never be updated. So you'll have no quality of life patches, no nothing. The game is what it is, but you don't have to pay for it. It's free, and you just have to have any computer that exists in this timeline should be able to run it, because it is literally 14, 15 years old. Now I gotta check when it actually launched.
Let's put it this way: if my laptop can run it, pretty much anything should be able to run it.
Yeah. It came out in 2004, so
14 years old.
15 years old.
15 years old. Sorry,
yeah.
I can do maths.
Yeah, 15 years old. So yeah, and man, I tell you, it's by far. So they have RP servers, which are servers where no one speaks out of character, and everyone plays their character nonstop. And that's where we made the characters at the end there, because Big Red Cheese was my RP character, as opposed to my other characters were not. But yeah, and so it's one of those things that, like, Daniel and I played that for years. John and I played that together for years. So being able to get the band back together again is kind of interesting, and people who never played it, like you, get to experience it for the first time. It's pretty cool. It's got a learning curve, but it's, and it's missing a lot of those niceties, but still it was, we played it for years and years back then, so it's not like you can't play it. It's just you got to wrap your head around what's different from today's current MMOs.
Yeah.
And the funny part is like, it popped up I knew about this since January, and I have been meaning to go back and do it, but I'd heard that, the servers were up and down and kind of like, right, you had limited times, and now it's open all the time. And I'm like, that's a good time it seems like everything's stabilized. Let's go check it out. And
it's usually about the time the lawyers get involved.
Yeah, but I think I'm trying to remember. There is actually a story about this. How is City of Heroes back?
So yeah, and
Uh,
then got to wonder, is this a model for things like, you know, what was that Marvel game you were playing that's now just not
oh
existent
yeah,
anymore?
Marvel Heroes.
Marvel Heroes, yeah. I mean, there are dead games out there now. There are games that just are lost to the timeline. If this is successful, will that provide a model for some of those lost games to continue?
Yeah, and yeah, NCSoft still owns the rights, but the dev studio got shut down when they closed the game down, and so
And so this dude just hooked up a
yeah,
20 terabyte drive to the server, copied it, and
yeah, and they'd seen other cease and desist orders, so that was one of the reasons that they kept it so quiet. Um, and then what they did was they released, so they were also reverse engineering the server as well, and they released their server code into the public, and I think that was. Actually, this might not be the same. I'm looking to see if this is. Um, because it's called City of Heroes. It's actually up here somewhere. City of Heroes Homecoming.
Homecoming.
Homecoming. So let me see if I can. City of Heroes Homecoming. And anybody can go and download it. It's actually a really easy process. It's not
Yeah,
like you have
it
to do a lot of stuff to do
didn't
it.
take me long to download.
Um, and then status update. So the first 6.5 hours that the server was open, they saw 10,000 account registrations and 2,200 players concurrently in game. That was just like the first. And that was 2 months ago when they opened it up to everybody. And it's really
So this is like the legend of the vanilla WoW servers that were always out
yeah.
there. Except this is real, and vanilla WoW is now a sanctioned thing.
The question that is this going to eventually be sanctioned by NCSoft and all that type of stuff? Can they actually start releasing updates to it? Because I think as long as they're not doing anything with it, they should be all right.
Right.
But it's as soon as they try and do something, because then they're modifying trademarked code or
But they had
protected
to have
code.
modified it already to make all the stuff free.
No, because that's using in-game mechanics like that.
Yeah.
Those people were already there. They just modified what they did. So
Right.
I don't think that's necessarily. And the
Yeah,
fact
it's
that
like it's a configuration thing where the cost of everything is zero rather
right,
than
right, and it's all free, so they're not making any money from it. So
yeah. I
they've
mean, that's
got
key right there, that they're not trying to make
yeah,
any money off of it.
yeah. So
Didn't
it
insert ads or anything.
no, no, nothing. So it's great. And to be honest, um, I've not gotten bored of PoE. I still enjoy it very much, but I've kind of like been looking for something else. I've been pretty blah about everything recently, and so this was just good timing to go back to something that I do have a very strong nostalgia for. But I'm interested more in people like you who didn't get to play it, you get to actually play through it. The story is meaty and it's thick, and they have a lot of good stuff in it. So I'll be interested in playing with you for sure. And
Yeah,
I'm
we'll keep going. It'll probably
going
be
as slow as as slow as you need to for the story, because I like the story, and I like going through the story. And now that we're on an RP server, it'll be a lot easier to do that, actually. All right. What else did you play? Anything else?
No, nothing of significance. I think I pittered around with a couple little things, but nothing important.
Well, let's see if we can get to the web here. Twitter.com/Gamersledge is where you can go if you want to follow all the news that's worth reporting in the gaming world. Doesn't look like it's going to work. Twitter.com/Gamersledge. Nope. We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way.
On paper!
We earn it. Alright, Twitter.com/Gamersledge. Let's see what's fitting on the old screen here. It's close. I can work with this. We'll just scoot it over a little bit here.
I guess the red carpet premiere for Far From Home must have been tonight. My email box is full of videos.
I've heard nothing but good things so far from the folks.
I'm expecting good things.
I'm not seeing it until Saturday because I've got some new friends that I am going to see it with, and so yeah. So we'll scroll back.
I don't have tickets yet, so I probably need to remedy that.
You probably do need to remedy that. I think you call yourself a Spider-Man fan.
I didn't say I was a good fan.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Swamp Thing was canceled before it even had a chance to start.
And Phantom Stranger is in now.
When's the Blizzard thing? I can't read it, so I don't know.
They pulled the plug on a game that was in development for 2 years.
Oh, right.
This is all stuff we knew. I'm trying to find the break. I'm pretty sure it was there. Yeah, that's where it was. Because then Adam Savage builds an actual working Iron Man suit. Because why wouldn't you?
Which is really just an oversized leaf blower with a suit around it.
Which completely suits Adam Savage.
I swear, if Tony...
I don't want to play any sound on it. But the point is that, the most interesting things to come out of it is I had to really actually look at the video because I'm like, are they fudging this? But then there's one thing that they do where they fly from outside to inside to make it so that, he's obviously not doing a digital wire and having it removed. So that was good. Right. But the funny part is when you watch him do this, it's pretty much exactly the footage that they had in Iron Man 1 when he's in his garage trying to learn to fly.
Yeah.
It is actually ridiculously similar. And so then when they finally, actually do get it on the professional, which he looks more like RoboCop than Iron Man, not gonna lie, but that's all right. What they said was that those curved leg plates absolutely murder your legs, and while it looks cool, it's not good for actually doing.
That's got to be killer on the shins.
But the fact that they 3D printed this whole thing,
titanium suit,
I'm like, what are you doing? That right there.
I don't know how much money they had to spend to do this. It's kind of ridiculous, but
there's your first working Iron Man suit. What have you done, Adam Savage? What have you done?
Well, if we have a technology, it'll now be weaponized.
That's what I'm saying. What have you done? Shang Tsung is now available in Mortal Kombat 11. I still have not gone back because I'm still having my issues about it, but I really want to. So that's dumb and
crises.
Sad. Yeah, pretty much. Speaking of crises, one universe that will no longer survive in the DC multiverse is Vertigo. After 26 years, they are shuttering it, relabeling stuff as DC Black Label, which it makes no sense to me. Vertigo,
how much are they still publishing under Vertigo?
There's Sandman and I think 2 or 3 other series that are currently ongoing. It's not a ton, but the point is that you have a 26-year-old established brand/trademark. Why change it? I just don't get it.
Because the kids don't like old stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I'm just spewing whatever.
Harry Potter's out now. Download-a-rama as quickly as... See what I did there? Oh man. I was so mad. I wanted to absolutely murder Screen Rant when I saw this. So the title of this... I
feel that way about most Screen Rant titles, by the way.
Yeah,
especially
well, this one...
contains spoilers in the title. Yeah,
This one was really bad. Final Fantasy VII Remake removes materia. What does that sound like to you?
Sounds like there's no materia in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Exactly.
We saw their materia in his sword.
Right. And she even, like, Jesse even hands Cloud materia in the thing. I'm like, what? And so, no. It's that they're removing some of the materia because it no longer makes sense in this style of fighter as opposed to traditional RPG. And they're replacing... Yeah, they're adding new ones that I'm like, you sons of guns.
This is a serious issue for some people, though. I mean, there are still the people who think they just should have made a high-res version of Final Fantasy VII and called it good. I wouldn't be mad if that existed, but I appreciate a new take on it. Now, we've yet to see how successful this is all going to be, but yeah, I think I would rather play this new version than I would sit through the old school turn-based RPG again. If I want to do that, I'll just play the one that's already available.
Right, and it has a lot of quality of life things, so that
right, the speed up, this and then that and the other. So
yeah.
Now the question is whether or not I will actually get 8 and finally play 8. Draw system.
Well, so I'm glad you brought that up. We'll talk about that in a minute. So that the Crystal Dynamics came out and said a bunch of words about Avengers post-game content and microtransactions and all that stuff.
It kind of makes a little more sense now, though, at least, so.
Yeah, I still, like... I don't want to hate this game, right? I don't want to, like, be down on this game. But they have really effed up the reveal, the messaging, all of it. I have a bad taste in my mouth for some reason about this game, and I've been really trying to analyze why, and I just think that a lot of it boils down to why, and we have talked about this before, but why mirror or mimic the movie lineup and roster if you're basing it off the comics? Why not draw that line in the sand and I mean, are they thinking people are just going to see the Avengers and the fact that it's those people and be like, yay, but then they see Thor and that's not Chris Hemsworth, and so why even try to do that? You're not...
Well, again, when they started development on this game, that was the book team too, right? Because they modified the book team to be the movie team.
Okay, but take that reveal trailer for Hank Pym, right?
Yeah.
Hank Pym has never never been Hank Pym. He's always been Ant-Man or Giant Man. One of the two. And,
or Yellow Jacket.
Or Yellow Jacket. And he's got... In this, he's got a gun that shrinks things. That's how it seems to me like they're trying to Marvel Cinematic Universe Hank Pym into this game. Not comics, but it's supposed to be based on comics. My brain hurts.
Yeah, I mean it's a different take, right? Well, I mean that's the one shot we got, so we have no idea, why he has that weapon. We don't know if he is or isn't Ant-Man. We don't know anything. I mean that's probably the biggest problem is we don't know anything, right?
But that's what they gave us, right? That's why I'm saying it's so frustrating because it seems like they're not doing a good job of actually telling us what the hell this game is.
Yeah, the messaging on this it feels like they weren't ready to talk about it, but they had to talk about it because they weren't going to have another E3 before the game was going to be out.
Right.
And so in the end, it's kind of like the messaging around the Star Wars. And I don't know if you posted any of that. I have been really bad about posting because work's just been insane.
No, I know.
But, the similar problem with the Star Wars, the vignette or the playthrough that we got from the public showing.
Right, is nothing like the action.
Right. It shows such a small segment of what the game actually is in total that and they kept on saying, oh, this is an expert playthrough. This is an expert playthrough. This is an expert playthrough. And you're watching it going, this doesn't look, I don't know why you keep saying this is an expert playthrough. This doesn't seem like anything special. It seems like mash square, kill things, is what it kind of felt like. Okay, I can do some cool stuff with some force powers. But, as they described it more in depth in post stuff, you start to get, okay, I see why they were saying this. I get it. Again, then all the people crying about the game was going to be too easy. It's a Star Wars game. I expect there to be some easiness to it because there's a broad appeal for Star Wars. I'm not expecting this to be a Dark Souls. I don't know if that's what people were thinking it should be. But, I'm thinking it's going to be closer to a God of War, but it's probably even going to be easier than that, I would guess. But, hey, I finished in Platinum God of War, so it can't be that hard.
Right. Yeah, I'm still cautiously optimistic.
To be miscommunications and show videos when you could do something more better.
Well, and they have said, I think this is a later post in the newsfeed, that you will at times be shoehorned into a character that you do not get to choose, but then other missions you will be able to choose who you want to play, and there will be co-op for up to 3 other players with you for those missions.
For some missions, not all the missions.
Right. For the ones where you're not shoehorned into a specific character. Which, that's a weird flow for if I'm playing through the story mode and, gotta kick all my friends out, see y'all, and then, re-invite all my friends, assuming that they do.
I'm guessing it, at least how I think I'm going to do it, I'm assuming those levels don't require multiplayer, so I'm just going to play through once single player just by myself, and then it sounded like they were saying there's a separate mode where you can just do the multiplayer modes.
That's what it sounds like.
And then play that way, if I even do that. But, the messaging is messed up. I think Square kind of bungled into they didn't know what to do, and they're constantly trying to react to everything that's going around. So I think the development on this, we're going to find out, has probably been kind of nightmarish. Worst case scenario, we end up with Mass Effect Andromeda kind of scenario, right? I mean, that's probably the worst case we're looking at for this game, which wouldn't be good. On the other hand, it may just be they weren't ready and didn't have the good words to say about what it was that they have, and it's going to be great, or good at least, and they just didn't know how to communicate it. So hopefully we'll see better stuff as the months leading up to the game coming out. But
all right, so Final Fantasy VIII Remaster, since you brought it up, which I'm super excited about. So here's the thing. On the PS4 version, you will have triple speed option, battle enhancements that will make battles easier, and an option that disables random enemy encounters. But on the PC version, and PC version only, you'll be able to acquire all items, abilities, special moves, and triple triad cards, in addition to max gil, GF level, and magic will be included in the highly customizable system settings.
So they're saying from the onset, you'll just
be able to
you'll flip
load
a
up.
button and you'll have 99999999999.
Yeah, no draw system for you. You just have all the magics.
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose.
It does not. So I was thinking about this, right? And I'm like, okay, I could see what you said there, that it defeats the purpose. But when you think about it, if you just want to play for the story, it doesn't really defeat the purpose.
Yeah.
It just removes all the content gates. Normally those content gates are leveling and magic and having what you need. Now you'll have what you need at every step of the way. I actually really like that. And I'm almost tempted, and it's really bad, I'm really tempted to get the PC version just because of that fact. Because I know that I do not have 27 years to do the game the way that it should be done. It's the reason I haven't finished Final Fantasy VII Remaster on the PS4. I want the trophies, but I want a lot of things that I don't get. So why not make it easy on myself and just play through the story, which is really what I want.
So now the grand question is, since the PS4 port is allegedly based off the PC port because the code for the original game was completely lost for whatever reasons.
Which is why
code bases.
Right. Why make this exclusive to just the PC version? It makes no sense to me whatsoever, and they've not given any further clarification on it. So
I'm guessing that if there's enough hullabaloo, those will either be added post-release or those will be unified into a single.
I hope so.
Version.
I hope so. Gears 5 announced that there will be no gear packs and no season pass, which is opposite of how every other Gears game is launched and opposite of what most of the game industry is doing right now. Everything will be... they basically said, hey, we realized that if we put a bunch of unlockable stuff in the game, that people will play the game more than if we just make it so that they can buy it. It's radical thinking, I'm telling you. Radical.
That sounds like the PS2 era.
I know, right? CD Projekt Red was interviewed, and they said that Cyberpunk 2077 will not have a morality system.
Which I know you're excited about, but I'm kind of bummed out by.
No, I mean, your choices will still have an effect on the world, just like The Witcher did. But it's not going to do this dumb paint you into a corner thing just because I choose to be good 99.9% of the time. That 1% of the time that I decide to be a total monster, I'm not going to get penalized for the rest of the game for it necessarily.
Well, yeah, but like Mass Effect 3 and, Infamous and those types of games, you didn't have to 100% every single choice. I mean, you could accidentally kill civilians in Infamous 2 and still get Paragon.
Sure, but that's the exception, not the rule, for most morality systems that we've seen.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying, a good one done well could be good. But yeah, you're right. Witcher 3 did it kind of organically, so it's still there. It's just not a bar on your screen.
Well, and what I liked about The Witcher 3 was that there was no clear-cut, this is the right answer if I want to be good. Right. And this is the right answer if I want to be bad. It's, here's the situation, and here's how I can react to that situation in this specific instance. And I like that far better than I have to pick the bad one or I have to pick the good one. So that's the only reason I say I'm excited for it. I think it's less restrictive a bit. I also learned something about Keanu Reeves' character, and I don't know if I should tell you because that could be considered a spoiler. But at the same time, I mean,
That he's an established character? I mean, is that the part you're talking
no,
about?
what his established character is.
Is okay. I'm aware,
Okay.
but if you don't want to say it for the cast, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to skip this, just fast forward like 20 seconds. Unless you're watching live, in which case pause for 20 seconds and you'll be fine.
Mute the audio.
Yeah, mute the audio. So he is apparently a cyber ghost installed on one of the chips in your head.
Yeah.
Which
Of a rock star.
which is hilarious and amazing, and the perfect. And one of the nice things is I was reading an interview. Apparently, about 40% of the studio did not know about Keanu Reeves.
Which is crazy considering he has, according to them, the most lines of recorded text in the game.
Yep. So the CD Projekt Red dev team was freaking out as much as everybody else on the when they were watching the stream from Poland because they did not know about it, and that's pretty cool. This is Polygon has sometimes the 1 to 2,000 word to 10,000 word articles, and this one was an interesting one that they were saying that single player games might be safer bet than live games in 2019 when you look at the launch of most of the live games over the last 2 years, and it was basically showing statistical proof that if you can make a good single player game, there is an audience for it and will continue to be an audience for it, which I wholeheartedly agree with.
Game as a service is a real crapshoot, which makes me surprised every time we get another one. It's just like you are seriously rolling the dice. The house wins on these more often than you do. So,
Harry Potter Wizards Unite rolled out to 25 more countries. We talked about that already. The president of EA has been making the round saying that, they're not giving up on Anthem, and they talk about why it struggled initially.
Isn't it still struggling? I mean, everything I hear about it is you get in there, you can't find enough people to start a level or a game or whatever. And
Yep. It still has a lot of problems. I think it's going to take at least 2 years probably to fix the problems with it. I really hope they can, because I still contend that the gameplay loop is one of the most fun gameplay loops I've had in a long time. I really like it. It has a great foundation. I understand that the mechanics are broken. The loot needs a complete overhaul and re-implementation. I get that they built this game in 9 months. And for what they did in 9 months, it's great. But it's not a full game, and they need to fix it. And it's going to take time. So, it's on my hard drive. It's not going anywhere. So yeah, they had the full Jedi Order, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gameplay demo from behind closed doors at E3. Talks, shows a lot more than what we saw in that demo, and that's kind of what Matt was talking about.
And they've been talking more about it, and things that they didn't show is you're actually planet hopping, and you're controlling what planets you're going to, and you're going to have to revisit planets because you're not going to have the abilities to get to certain regions and do certain things. So it's got a lot of Metroidvania influences in it, which has been said before, but we didn't really see what that meant. But you really have a free roaming. You're going to be in this branch of the Star Wars galaxy, and you're going to be bouncing back and forth between planets.
And they also said that there will be ship battles, and there will be battles in space, on ships in space. So it's not like you're just going to be confined to planet battles also. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting game.
I think this is the first time we've seen a structurally accurate interior of, and this broke my heart. I don't know if they're saying this canonically changes the pronunciation, but the correct pronunciation of the large four-legged walkers is AT-AT. And he calls it an AT-AT in that demo. And that broke my heart a little bit. So I don't know if we're canonically changing the name of the AT-AT to an AT-AT or not. But that kind of made me
Well,
sad.
it's the same difference between the 4th of May and the 25th of May. May 25th is the actual release date, but it's celebrated on May the 4th,
Oh
which
yeah,
has
yeah,
nothing to do with the actual launch of, you know.
right. No, yeah, that's real Star Wars Day versus fake Star Wars Day.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's at. I've called it at for my entire life, because why wouldn't you? Why would you say AT-AT? R2-D2, I get, because you can't shorten that or make it any other thing. But AT-ATs have always been AT-ATs for me, so I get it. You know,
Like I said, it's
I get
it's
your point. Also, I don't disagree with it.
I think I've handled the whole death of the EU way better than I could have, and this is just one more
Wait, this is
EU
you.
death
This
that I
is
haven't.
you handling it well.
Yes, this is
Really?
me handling it
Wow.
well.
Wow.
I could have handled it much worse.
July's PS4 games went out. we
I've broken Mark.
Yeah, we had a great conversation about this earlier today. PES, or Professional Evolution Soccer, is your AAA game, and the racing game is a less popular but solid racing game. And I am already predicting that the message boards in America were going to explode because soccer. It is a AAA game. I mean,
It's a typical. It's a typical. Why don't we get AAA games? And then not that AAA game.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, it's not a great month for if you're not a sports game fan. I'm not familiar with the racing game. I've heard it said that it's a port of a free mobile game, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, I until you play it, I have no idea. It could be garbage. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, this isn't going to be a great month, and for others, it's going to be an amazing month. So.
Well, my group the group I play with on a regular basis on PS4 was just saying, I wish there was a racer. And we looked in the sale, and what was it, gravel or something? And it just, apparently it was not good. And so it was in the sale, but, I don't want to spend money on any amount of money on a game that's not great. So I'm interested in getting this one for free, and hey, we've got a racer to play for a while.
And then the Turbo Track Mania that released on Plus a while back, that's not a bad game. I mean, it's kind of, I think it's called Turbo Track Mania. It's very Hot Wheelsy. The courses are kind of unrealistic. But it was a solid game. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, but that's more of a competitive racer thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, you still can't beat Burnout, right? I mean, Burnout Paradise. I mean, Burnout Paradise is still the perfect car game.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Why are you saying... Oh, it's called Memorial Free... just FYI, I just found out, like literally right now, that the Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon anime universe is now a fantasy epic exploration RPG on iOS and Android. Interesting. I will actually check that out. Double click to install. Click. Okay.
I'm also behind on Attack on Titan and One Punch Man.
So today I saw a Kickstarter for another CRPG that promises D&D style tactics. It's called Solasta, Crown of the Magister. And I mean, I don't know how else to say this, but if you like CRPGs and are a fan of that genre, this is like seriously a golden age kind of renaissance of a game type that sadly was practically dead. Um, so the big thing about this one is that it's promising verticality in all of the levels, which would change very. I mean, Larian did some of it in Divinity Original Sin 2 and 1, but more so in 2. But this is like pretty authentic kind of vertical dungeon stuff. So I'm really interested to see more about all that stuff. And it looks like it's going to have animated cutscenes like the old D&D cartoon. Oh snap! Did we talk about that car commercial?
I don't remember if we did or not, but that was amazing.
I don't think we did. No, I think we watched it on the podcast. I think we might have. But yeah, it looks really good, and they're not asking like a ton, if I remember right. Oh, they said the Kickstarter's coming soon. But yeah,
so people are still doing. Oh, I thought the whole Kickstarter thing had kind of died off.
No, not at all. Well, I mean, even Blood. What was it? Blood. What's the Metroidvania that just came out? Blood.
Oh, Bloodstain.
Stained, yeah, that was a quick Kickstarter game.
Yeah, that was way back at the beginning of the whole Kickstarter game thing. So I mean, that's taken this long to finally come out. You know.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, unless you've got burning news that I missed, which is quite possible.
No, nothing that I remember or wrote down. Do a quick scan here, just 'cause I can. Okay, not exactly gaming news, but apparently Salma Hayek has joined Marvel's Eternals movie.
That's quite a bit of star power for that movie.
That is. I mean, they're definitely laying the star power into that one. I mean, it is like definitely one of the lesser known Marvel properties. So, I mean, it makes sense that they'll try to throw.
You know what I really want to see them do with that. I know you're gonna laugh at me, but what I'd really like to see them do Eternals as is almost like a soap opera drama. Because there is so much drama in that entire thing. I mean, just the storylines for Star Fox alone reads like a soap opera drama.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mind control all of my girlfriends to love me. It's pretty shady stuff, but if it was kind of in that drama format, I think you could actually get away with telling the stories as they were presented, for the most part.
Yeah, I could see it as definitely, what they tried to do with
Inhumans.
Yeah, Inhumans, but good.
Yeah, but good. Exactly. Yes, you have the gist of it, but good. I'm checking if there's anything. Sinking City released. It's gotten pretty decent scores. I still do kind of want to play it. I've heard that there are a lot of actual, if you are a Lovecraft fan and have read the other novels, there's actually a lot of novel material that shows up in this book from all of the books, not just the Call of Cthulhu stuff. Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a tabletop game prequel.
Huh. Yeah, I saw this yesterday, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly how this will work. But there's a One Punch Man 3v3 fighting game coming out.
I saw that too. I chose to ignore it. Because
how do you have a game where the one character can literally beat pretty much anybody with not even trying?
Saitama can't be a playable character. That's the answer.
Except he is a playable character in the demo.
I know they're saying that now, but I don't believe it.
Yeah,
it's got it. There's got to be a twist, and that's not.
Or
Saitama.
he can't fight. All he can do is take. Just be there to absorb damage.
And you get a meter that eventually fills up, and he does his one punch and wins. Yeah, maybe
something. Yeah.
Or
he can only be on the screen for so many seconds or something.
Diablo 4 is shown internally at Blizzard, but it won't launch this year, and that's all the details there are.
Right then.
That's why I didn't list it the first time I did it, or the first time I saw it. No, that's really kind of it. Wow. Actually, this is something that I did not know. There's another story about that canceled Blizzard game, but okay. The interesting tidbit out of it is that former Blizzard boss explains why the studio cancels half its games. No, really. Half of its games get canceled.
Wow.
And he says, and I quote, this is from Games Radar, yeah, because the StarCraft first-person shooter, Project Titan, StarCraft Ghost, Nomad, I still remember the reveals for StarCraft Ghost, Nomad, Warcraft Adventures, Lord of the Clans, those have all been canceled, and many more have never been announced. He basically says that most of them got terminated because the perfect is the enemy of great, and everyone was striving for perfection rather than making great games. Is all that it amounts to. But that's an interesting fact that they've basically cut half their games that they've ever created. Kratos was almost cut from God of War.
Yeah, what the heck?
Which I get. I mean, sort of.
I mean, I get it. It's so
radical. He was a super one-dimensional character also.
Yeah.
Not now, but yeah.
Yeah. Did just the FYI, if you have a PS4, there is a free Cyberpunk 2077 theme. You can go up there.
Go get that. Yeah.
And I downloaded it last night. It is pretty awesome. It is a full one. It's not one of those half-tailed ones.
Yeah, it's the animated, the full dynamic one. Yeah,
and all the sounds are different and everything, so it's pretty awesome. So it'll be my standard for a while.
Well, then that's going to bring us to the part where we like to thank all the folks who make Gamersledge possible, and I'm going to pull that list up here as Matt fills time with something else.
Killing time. Well, time kills me. Which is a little too real and serious, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go. Wow, you went straight to the morose and the man.
Oh, that's the other thing I've been watching. I ran out of stuff to watch while I was on the elliptical, and I started watching the IT Crowd because I've seen lots and lots of clips for it, but I've never actually watched the full series. And that's a BBC comedy. Kind of a BBC version of, I don't even want to say it, but it's kind of like a BBC version of Big Bang, but not. Mm-hmm. And it's amusing, it plays into a lot of, IT technology geek people tropes and stuff, and laugh at the silly geek, which, can get kind of annoying, but it is funny and amusing if you can take a little self-ribbing and whatnot if you are of that persuasion. But yeah, and I didn't realize that I'm trying to figure out why the main female character seems so familiar, but she plays the mom in the series Humans, which is the AI's gaining sentience series that the BBC's had on for a while. Mark disappeared. I don't know if he's... Am I supposed to still be killing time?
Yeah, because I'm having difficulty pulling up my list. Well,
Mark is having performance problems, so they're going to tap dance a little bit longer. Let's see, what else? I have a lot of comics I haven't read, and I mean a lot. I mean, like, this is probably the worst it has ever been. I'm actually kind of terrified at the moment by the proposition of all of the comics I have to read that I have not yet read.
There we go. I'm so sorry that took way longer than it should have.
No problem. We got real for a while. We talked about some stuff.
Yeah, and comics, man, I like right now there's a real pull for me to get back into comics.
And you like your X-Men are getting rebooted here.
I know. That's why I'm like, ugh. No. And
you're a whoopee cat.
The stuff going on in DC right now is super interesting because it looks like the bad guys are going to win in reforming the multiverse, and we're going to get a year of the villains being the top over the rest of it. I'm super interested in that. I mean, they're finally basically going the Marvel route. Now their movies will match their books for instead of vice versa. Anyways, so yes, thank you to all our patrons and the folks that support us by subscribing on Twitch. So thank you to Justin times 97. You're the man and a rock star. Regina times 2. Naomi, John, June, Eric, Lexi, Patrick, Dave, Kevin, John, Nashok, William, Peter, John, Vekarad, Colleen, Tracy, Michael, Dave, Nick, and Arturo. Thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to support us, you can do so by clicking that subscribe button on Twitch, or you can head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Gamersledge, where you can get your name on every show we do for as little as $1 a month. And you'll see all those folks thanked at the very end of our show today. That's going to bring us, I think, to final thoughts. Matt, what do you got for us this week?
I am very...
I before you start this, I wanted you to know that I have been trying to think, like, I feel like our final thoughts have always been like this free-for-all where we can bring up anything we want. And it is, and that's fine. But I finally figured out the analogy of what it reminded me of. And that is it's the creation exchange from Mystery Science Theater 3000. where first Joel and or Mike and the bots would show what they had made for the week, and then the mad scientists, the mads, would show what they made for the week. That's what I just realized, like, this weekend, that this very much reminds me of that, because each of us brings something a little bit different to the final thoughts, and so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
we don't have puppets, but still.
Yeah. Now he totally lost track of what I was going to say. I know this is counterculture and everything, but I am actually very excited to see what season 3 of Stranger Things is going to bring. I'm hoping, I know they're saying that they might go another season. I'm really kind of hoping this is actually the end and they'll just tie it off here. But
I still haven't watched season 2.
I enjoy it. I even like that episode that everybody else hates of season 2. I actually really, really enjoyed that episode.
So my wife is going for a month and a half, almost 2 months. She'll be back at the end of July. I can't watch anything. Like, I'm not joking.
Anime. You can watch anime.
No, that's why I'm watching the anime, because I know that I can watch that without, because we don't watch stuff without each other, and so it's like, I can't watch any of the Flash, any of the CW stuff that's now up on Netflix. I can't watch anything. It's driving me insane. I'm behind on so much stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know where to go. I wish Netflix, since they had it and they have it for a little while longer, had a playlist where you could watch all of the CW shows in airing order. So you just hit like the playlist and they just play them all in air order for the week because I'm 3 seasons behind in everything now and trying to align what you watch, when you watch, how you watch, how you do the crossovers is just ridiculous. So that's kind of frustrating, really. Actually, it's very incredibly frustrating.
Well, so what
But
we've done,
did you?
in the past is we watch The Flash, and we get to the crossover episode, and then we go find out what episode was the crossover episode in the others, and that has worked because up until this last year, you could easily do that, and they were self-contained. Like they didn't put the rest of the season's drama into that
Right.
most of the time, but this last season they did,
Oh,
and so it was mainly Legends of Tomorrow. But Legends of Tomorrow is not involved in this year's crossover, if I remember correctly.
hmm.
So, so I guess you don't have to worry about that. But yeah,
So, but yeah, I'm actually genuinely intrigued and excited to see what they do with Stranger Things this year.
nice. Uh, so mine is I have been frustrated since I moved to the city because I have not made any friends since I've moved here really. And I have one friend who I go see the Marvel movies with, but I have like no local other than him, no other local friends. And that's very much not like me. I'm a very social person. I usually need
No,
that to
are you
survive.
kidding?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
get that from you at all.
yeah. I know. So I went to people in San Francisco are really weird about meetups. Like really weird. Like they won't do it at people's homes and stuff. They think you're a serial killer or something. It's really weird. Because I've never had that in any other city. In any other city, I've never. I'd be like, let's do wrestling at my house, and everybody's like, yay, and they come over and eat my food, and then go home, and that's fine, right? That's what I'm signing up for. Is let you
Right.
know. But people here are like, I don't know you. You could be a serial killer. I'm like, really? I thought the whole point of, meetup.com is to, like, find people to meet up with common shared interests to. How are you going to do that? Especially if you're trying to watch, like, Japanese wrestling. You can't go to a bar and do that. Sadly. Not yet. Anyways, I got off the point. The point was, is I decided to go to a anime and video games meetup, and 78 people there. Like, it is, I think it's one of the most successful meetups in the Bay Area.
Hmm.
And it was my crowd, and actually met some really nice people. We all went out to dinner. We talked anime. We talked video games. Uh,
Accused each other of being serial killers.
no, because we were out in public, so nobody was. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. I'm gonna catch Spider-Man with a couple of those folks when it comes out on Saturday, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday.
Yeah.
And then, but my point is don't. What I have been feeling, especially since my wife has been gone, is I've been feeling very isolated, and people can very easily get depressed about that kind of stuff. And point is look for ways to get yourself out there and take the extra initiative to do it, even if you don't feel like you want to, because odds are you're gonna meet some cool people, and you won't be alone. So I still have a month left before my wife gets back.
Yeah, she's been gone a long time.
It was supposed to be till the end of June, but then there was some other stuff that came up for work stuff, and so she's gonna be there till the end of July, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm gonna do for July 4th. Um, I've heard that you can sit at the on the balcony at Cheesecake Factory and actually see the fireworks just fine. And considering that San Francisco gets very cold and windy in the evenings,
Hmm.
being at the Cheesecake Factory does not sound like a bad deal. So I probably will do that, actually. I may even sit inside and just see the fireworks through the window. It's all good. So, yeah. Well, that's going to bring us then to the end of the show, and where we give you a sage piece of advice to last you through until next time we meet. Matt,
Yeah.
did you hear about the circus fire?
Nope.
I heard it was intense.
I hate you.
Hey, Matt,
No, you get one.
bonus pro tip. Why don't blind people go skydiving?
I don't know why don't blind people go skydiving.
Because it scares their dogs too much.
Okay, that one kind of makes up for it.
Yeah. Until next time, game on!
Game on.
Satisfying.